So to kick off day 2 and to share with you the underground secrets that mega influencers never share on how to tactically use social media to generate leads and book appointments, let's welcome to the side-by-side stage, Sharran Srtivatsaa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm sorry, good morning. It's like 70%. All right, good morning? That feels good to kind of yell it out a little bit. I can't, hey bud, I can see you guys now. Got the spotlight. What's up? I have so many friends in the room. How many of you have seen me before in some way? Gosh, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back. This is awesome. You know the coolest part? The coolest part is this. Most events that we go to, here's what we do. Most events that we go to, we say, hey, can I get a workout in before we go see Sharran? No, hey, none of you do that. Then you say, hey, can I get some yoga in before we go to this event? You know what we do here? Here we say, can I get a ride in? How many went on some rides? How many of you went on some rides? Went on some rides, awesome. No, put your hand up. Okay, so, favorite ride? Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. Anybody go on Matterhorn? Spider-Man? So here's the interesting part. Let me actually show you something. What I want to show you is, this is my daughter, Lara. It was Lara's 6th birthday on Sunday, and all she wanted to do was come to Disneyland. So we introduced her to the scary rides. Big Thunder Mountain, Matterhorn. It was insane. It was awesome. And then she said, she's like, Dad, where are you going today? I said, I'm going to Disneyland. You going to Disneyland without me? And I'm like, she's like, what ride are you going to go on? I said, a lot of people are going to go on a lot of rides. But here's the crazy part. Isn't it amazing that we came from all around the country, and you could have easily done this conference at a city hotel by the airport, but how amazing is it that Guy, Hillary, Liani, and the team picked an amazing venue. So on a count of three, can we do like a really loud, I'm gonna be the loudest. So loud that the folks outside are like, what is happening in there? On a count of 3, just as a thank you, the loudest alcohol recovering cry that you can put out. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, whoa! Awesome. That feel good? You're like, dude, what is he gonna talk about social media? He should just keep doing this. So the crazy part is, I was actually talking to one of my mentors, and he told me something amazing. Anybody been to Disneyland in Orlando? Did you know that Disneyland Orlando, on a per head revenue basis, makes more money than Vegas? No, let me explain. Disneyland Orlando, on a per head revenue basis, makes more money than Las Vegas. Las Vegas has alcohol, strippers, and booze. And Disneyland has a mouse. A mouse. And here's the crazy part. If a mouse can do that, this mouse is all over our lives without you even knowing about it. This mouse has 17 million followers. This mouse. You think the competition is your local agent? You were crazy. It's this mouse. And it's not only this mouse, it's worse than this mouse. It may be President Biden, it may be President Trump, it may be President Obama. How many of you follow one of them? So, I don't know if I should raise my hand on this one. I don't know if I should raise my hand. Or it could be Gwyneth Paltrow, or it could be Oprah, or it could be J-Lo. They're taking all our impressions. Or it could be Gary Vee. Come on, you follow Gary Vee. It's a non-political thing. You can say that, right? Or it could be Grant Cardone, or it could be Tony Robbins. They're taking our impressions. You're not able to make... How many times sometimes you say, hey, you know what? Social media leads suck. How many of you at some point in time have said, social media leads suck? Do not lie to me. 4 liars. Put your hand up. Yes, you're like, oh, Facebook sucks. You know why? Because all of them are taking your impressions. Here's the interesting part. These guys too. My buddy Brian Hill taking your impressions. Kofi taking your impressions. Alex Wang puts out more videos than anyone else. You know why? Because he's taking impressions. And it's super important. And if all of this is not bad enough, now we got memes. They're taking all your impressions. It's crazy. You've got the Brady memes. Now you've got the people with cash and homebuyer memes. Right? And now you got the whole, can I see an offer under list memes? This is crazy. These are the guys that are taking your impressions. No wonder we can't get leads and make money from social media. But I want to give you a way today that can completely change that. Would that be cool? Yeah. So the interesting part is the struggle is real, and if it's okay with you, I want to tell you how it has affected me personally. Okay? Whoa. This is where a speaker gets to, oh, there you go, thank you. How it's affected me personally, right? And the cool part is, I want to give you a real set of slides, set of stats on what has happened to my own small social media engagement. We don't have anything to sell, we're investors. I get a lot of my deal flow from social media. But when my engagement drops, I don't get any deal flow. Makes sense, right? Just nod or something. Okay, thank you for nodding. This is a real chart. This is a real chart. This is 2020. My engagement started roughly at 120,000 views per story on Instagram. Please don't compare. I'm just telling you the struggle. 120,000 views per story. Through the course of the year, it ended up here. Bad for business. Not good. And I was like, this sucks. Because that means I got to spend more money, try to get more impressions. I wanted to do something. How many of you at some point are like, hey man, I posted this amazing video, but like 4 people saw it. This sucks. No, I'm serious. Please raise your hand. Right? Yeah, I don't want that feeling. So I told my team, we've got to do something better. I want to show you something. This was last year. This was last year. And here's the cool part. We did something very specific right there. Right there. And that's what I get to share with you today. Because just by doing this, we did multi-7 figures from our simple Instagram account on deal flow. Because it's super important to know how you can revive everything. Are you cool if I share with you the system that I use to do that, which I think can apply to you as well? Like 19 of you want this. I told Liani, fragile ego, big sounds make me feel really good. So please, I'm totally joking. Super excited to share this with you. This is called the Social Media Money Machine. Every time we do something internal on our team, we like to give it some kind of cool name so that we all feel good, like, hey, did you implement the Social Media Money Machine? Because there's a system that clearly has a good result. And today I want to show you the system that clearly has a good result. Is this cool? Your team is so good, like got the lights going. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so the first thing is, after starting to do this, I realized that a lot of people do this and not just me, and I'm wondering why no one told us about this stuff before. Multi-million dollar influencers do the same thing. These are the underground secrets that influencers use to generate more leads and book appointments without your knowledge. And they do it even if you can have a small audience. How many of you feel sometimes that you have a small audience? Just don't lie, it's okay. Small. I will show you a way today that you can actually use your small audience to make this come true. All right, so here we go. 3 goals for today. Number 1, I'm gonna give you the only metric you need to track. Number 1, only one metric. Number 2, I'm gonna give you the exact scripts that you need. And number 3, I'm gonna tell you what to do daily, which will take you less than 15 minutes a day, which you can outsource to your team. That was supposed to be like, whoa, that's awesome. Thank you, my goodness. Oh my gosh. Fragile ego, big sounds. Fragile ego, Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay, all right. If you need your phone, this may be a good time. I will flash this a couple times. See if you can grab the little QR code. And the entire idea for this is I want you to have all the slides. I'll give it to you again at the end. Take a picture, take the slides, whatever. Liani will get everything to you, right? I just wanted to make sure to have a nice QR code on there because it makes me feel good to have a QR code on there. All right, if you're good so far, if I can continue, just put your right hand up. A little exercise. Cool, awesome, thank you. All right, so there are 3 problems. See if any of these problems actually connect with you. Problem number 1, we feel like there's so much to do. Problem number 2, we feel like time is flying away. There's not enough time. Problem number 3, we can't justify ROI. We're like, I spent 20 minutes making a video, making a story, making a meme, doing the dance. Nothing really happens. So then we struggle with the ROI, right? And because of this, we're like, hey, does this all even matter? How many of you at some point in time, just nod, have felt, does this all even matter? Right, some point, right? I want to change that for you because I think there's a huge opportunity. The huge opportunity here is I want to give you like a recipe exactly what to do. Additionally, I want to tell you how you can do it before the ice cube melts in under 5 minutes. And then I want to tell you how you can guaranteed get ROI. Guaranteed. Because when you do that, you're more joyful in doing it, you're happier to do it, and you want to do it better. Cool? Yes? How many of you connected with that sort of? Yeah. Okay, so I had to put a little Pluto in there. What can someone tell me, like, what connected with them so far? Hey, that was interesting. Just raise your hand. Say again. 15 minutes a day connected with you, man. Awesome, 15 minutes. So, dude. Everybody know Daniel Morgan? He's awesome. What connected with you, buddy?
Fragile ego.
The fragile ego. If y'all want some continuing humor, you should follow Daniel Morgan on Twitter. Hilarious the entire time. What else? What else connected with you in what I just shared? Ma'am. The recipe. You know, here's the interesting part. I promise you, all of us have all the raw materials. Anybody like pecan pie? I love pecan pie. Beverly knows this. I love pecan pie. If you had all the ingredients for pecan pie and you threw them in the wrong order, you're not getting pecan pie. So the recipe sometimes is important, just knowing how to sequence things. And I'm really excited here. One more. What connected with you so far? Dude.
I'm not the only one feeling why does it not work.
Yeah, Dan says, I'm not the only one feeling why does it not work. And here's the cool part. Our expectations are out of whack, and I want to change that for you today. All right? So let's actually break down the framework of how all of this works. There's 3 big things to the puzzle. Liani and the team gave me, how many of you have ever been on a Zoom with me? Okay. Could we do a Zoom, could we do maybe Zoom after? Can we all hang out on Zoom after? This is how you ask people out on a date in 2022. Can we all hang out on a Zoom after? So, what I want to show you is there's 3 big pieces to this puzzle, all right? Piece number 1, piece number 2, it's all good. Piece number 1, piece number 2, piece number 3. Okay? Piece number 1 is our job is the first thing we need to do is to prime the algorithm. Prime the algorithm. No algorithm, no dice. So I want to show you how to prime the algorithm very easily. All right? Number 2, once you prime the algorithm, you get to activate the audience. And you may be thinking, ooh, what does activate the audience mean? I'll tell you exactly what activating the audience means. Because till then, you can't sell them anything. You can't talk about anything. You're just listed, just sold, market update. Nobody is watching. No, I'm dead serious. Nobody is watching to no fault of your own. Because someone else is priming the algorithm better. Unless we prime the algorithm and activate the audience, we don't actually get them to watch stuff. And third, this is going to be the most important thing, is to start conversations. And I'm going to show you this. Can I tell you the number 1 goal? The number 1 goal on social media for you to run a business is to do one thing. Is to start direct message conversations. It is not how many likes you get per post. It is not how many views you get on a video. It is how many people can you actually activate to actually start a direct message conversation with you. That is the only goal. No other goal matters. If you want to make money from Instagram, if you want the social media money machine, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of that is easy. If you can get people to start a conversation with you. Because all conversion happens in conversation. Say it again. All conversion happens in conversation. Now you may be thinking, without conversation, you can't convert. You think you're going to get a come list me call because you put a just listed video up? Are you joking? No, I'm dead serious. Like, we have a warped sense of reality. Oh, I did this. I sold $172 million over asking. Nobody cares. You know why? Because nobody saw that video because someone else primed the audience better. Tough love, is that okay? All conversions happen in conversation. So today I'm going to show you how to start these conversations, which I think will be super helpful overall. There are 5 key strategies. If you can take pictures, you can write notes, but this is probably the important stuff. Good? Okay, strategy number 1. I want to show you how to create rapid engagement. The most important thing that you can do in social media right now is to create rapid engagement. There's a way to do that, and let me show you right now. 4 big pieces to the puzzle. Piece of the puzzle number 1. We know that we have to end up here with direct messages. We know that. We know that. But how do you get there? Most important thing, even though you don't want to do it, is stories. You don't do stories, you don't have social media. I'm going to tell you right now. You don't do stories, you don't have social media. Many are like, Sharran, what do I do in stories? Do I talk about my burger and fries? I will show you what to do, right? Stories are the most important thing. The second most important thing on social media are the posts. Is it okay if I get a little tactical? Can I just give you recipe stuff? Okay, cool. Second most thing are important, the posts, right? When you get the stories and the posts working, right, then there's something called LCS. Likes, comments, shares. Okay? Please allow me to give you, how many times have you been scrolling through social media? This is real. How many times have you been scrolling through social media and you're like, should I like that? No, I'm serious. Should I like that? Then you're like, should I comment? Should I share this? Does anybody have a formula on when they like, comment, or share? If you had a formula, you would make money. Can I give you the formula? Right. When you like something, you're just acknowledging. So ask yourself the question, Sharran made a post, do I want to acknowledge it? I like it. Super simple. So when you're scrolling now, your scrolls are a lot cleaner in the process of doing what you said you needed to do. Okay? That was not as athletic as I thought. It's just so, Dan, you and I gotta go to the gym, buddy. Yeah. Number 1, to acknowledge you like. Good? Number 2, when do you comment? Only when you want to connect. If I made a post and you want to connect with me, you write a 2-sentence comment. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Dan Smith wrote that comment. That's so cool. Now you can have the ability to connect with them. Third, when you want to promote something, that's when you share. Know these well because it's going to make your social media experience significantly more efficient, right? Like to acknowledge, comments to connect, share to promote. Good? I'm just giving you the overall because I want to get to the money part. Good so far? Good so far? Give me a nod or something. Good so far? Okay, awesome. Like, comment, share. So here's the cool part. The cool part is, this is how you prime the algorithm with the stories. This is how you activate the audience. And the goal is to get to this every single day. My handwriting is actually a little better than that, but a little. Yeah, okay. Good so far? Helpful? Okay, cool. Let me give you the next part of this puzzle. I want to talk to you about how to win the stories game. How many of you are actively doing stories right now? Just give me a hand. Oh, about 50% of us? Awesome. Stories are super important. I want to give you a formula for how to do it. The more stories you do, the more the platform feels like it wants to reward you. Please don't think about this as difficult work. I want to give you a recipe on what to actually do. Okay? Cool if I give you a recipe on the stories? Okay, awesome. Here we go. Recipe on the stories. Shares. Easiest thing to do. You post something on social media, you just share it to stories. Because the more stories you have, the more the algorithm likes. You see someone else's post, you see Said's post, you see Liani's post, you see the Tony Robbins post, feel free to share it. If you do nothing else, share something to your stories that keep your stories always active. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube Shorts, all of them have those little circles on the top, right? The only way you get in the little circles if you get stuff in stories. The least you can do is just share. Just click share. Tell me you can do that. Here's the cool part. Not only can you share, you can have your team share, which works just fine. So the first thing is share your stuff and share other people's posts that you love. You like how I used the little emoji so I didn't have to write like love and struggle with that? Yeah. Good so far on the shares. I would love if you can get more activity in your stories, because without this, there's no social media money machine. Number 2, here's what happens backstage. The mundane stuff. The mundane stuff. That's your question. I know we have not been on networking events for a while, which is fine. Let's say there's networking party A. 10 people that are going to this networking party, you know 6 of them. Networking party B. 10 people going to this party, you know 2 of them. Now don't lie. After a long day's worth of work, which party do you go to? All the high D's, super aggressive in the room is like, I'm gonna get more over here. But the average person scrolling through social media is going to the 6 out of the 10. You know why? Familiarity builds trust. Familiarity is easy. When people see the mundane stuff about you, they connect more with you. If I showed up this morning and all I shared with you was like nuclear fusion stuff, you'd be like, this guy's out of his mind, right? You want to see stuff that you're familiar with. Therefore, when I slide something in that you're unfamiliar with, you're like, that was pretty cool. We want more familiarity, which is why the mundane stuff is super important. Here's how you think about the mundane stuff. What would make grandpa proud? What would make, for my daughter, my dad seeing my daughter just walk to school is like the greatest thing for him, right? The mundane stuff. What makes grandpa proud? What makes grandpa proud? And I will tell you here, the crazy part is, the more mundane stuff you do, the more people will connect with you. And I want to show you a way to suck that back into a money machine. So don't feel bad by saying, hey, walking here to do this, getting ready for an open house, just jumping into a new listing appointment, can't wait to bring this home to market, oh, it's been a long day. Mundane stuff is great on stories only. Good? Last but not least, the Q&A. This is my favorite part. If you want to build an amazing brand on social media, maybe video or text, you could do Q&A. Here, let me give you the Q&A script. I love like setting up for this, right? Hey, this question comes from Sharran in Laguna. Sharran asks, hey, how can I buy a home and sell a home at the same time? Howard Stern made his career on Q&A, right? Super easy. Today's question comes from Sharran in Laguna Beach. Sharran asks, can I buy a home and sell a home at the same time? Hey, Sharran, a lot of my clients have a similar question. Let me break down the 3 things that you need to actually understand it. That is amazing content, right? Because now it's not saying, everybody asks me. Nobody asks you, Jack. We know this. Like every time an influencer says, everybody's been asking me when this event's come, nobody asked anybody, right? But if you said, hey, today's question comes from Dan in Mission Viejo. Dan asked blah. It's awesome because it shows demonstration of proficiency that someone actually trusts you enough to have that one specific person ask you that one specific question. Now that is available to everybody else. Good? Okay, awesome. All this said, you got to grease the skids. This is my favorite part if you were not paying attention so far. Let me give you like some fun things right here, okay? This is how you grease the skids. There are 3 types of posts on how you grease the skids. Let me explain. You remember the chart? I can still draw. You remember the chart I drew for you? That was like, whoa! Right? And then I was like, ah! Right? That chart. There's a reason for that. And that is, you have to prime the algorithm first. And I want to give you the 3 types of posts that you can post or your team can post that you can prime the algorithm so that you can get money out of all of this. Okay, here are 3 types of posts with examples. Okay, and I'll give you all the files, all the scripts, all of this. Let me give you the 3 types of posts. Post number 1, this is called the tide riser. The tide riser is, my tide on this was pretty bad. Would you agree? Right? I needed to rise the tide so that the next thing that I posted got better traction. Our job is not to post good content. Our job is to prime the algorithm, activate the audience, and then post the content. So if you're posting something great, you got to do the tide riser first. Get everybody to get a groundswell to come up. And you're going to be like, Sharran, that's so hard, that's so mundane. I'm telling you, it works. Look at the green line. Okay? Let me give you an example of a tide riser post. I'll read it for you, maybe too small. Super simple. This is called the tide riser. I posted this. What is one thing you do when you get stressed? 81 comments. I stopped talking. Like, the comments are pretty insane. You will see random posts that have 100, 200, 300 comments. What happens when you get a lot of comments on one post is that the algorithm is like, whoa, this dude's amazing. And it raises the tide so you can post good stuff after. I would never post a market update video. I would never post a new listing video. I would never post anything of cool and importance until you rise the tide first. How many of you thought that alone was like somewhat valuable? Cool, awesome. I will give you, hey, have you guys ever got, I love you. How many of you have been to like an event and then you look at your social media and then everybody posts the same thing on social media? We don't do that today. That post should not be on everybody's feed. Okay? So I'm gonna give you a ton of options. Is that cool? Okay, that's the tide riser. Let me give you the second one. After you post, this is the perfect sequence. After you post the tide riser, there's a very cool post where you can suck people and make them show off. Because the show-offs are the one you want to talk to. This is called the overachiever. But let me explain this to you. I posted this post 2 days ago. Some of you, my friends, have seen this. It says, do you think people judge you based on the type of car you drive? I have 104 comments. I have a friend that Cody and I both know. I have a friend who copied this 3 hours later. He did the same exact post. What does the car you drive say about you? 78 posts. If you think this stuff doesn't work, it works all over the place because it rises the tide. You may think 78 comments is not enough. I will tell you, equate one comment 10 times the amount of views you're getting. So if you're getting 78 comments, that's 780 people, because that's how deep this goes, right? It's deep engagement. Good so far? Is that helpful? All right, cool. Here is this, the overachiever. There are guaranteed overachievers in your audience. If you ask this, who here owns an Airbnb? It only 20 comments, but what does this do? It smokes out the real estate investors in your group. That's what you want, right? And here's what this guy said. Just about one yesterday. This guy didn't get the commission, right? Now you know you have a group of real estate. This is how you build your investor list. Overachievers love to brag. So if you have 5 to 7 overachiever questions, you can use it over and over and over and over again, and then something magical happens after that. Good so far? Helpful? Tide riser, overachiever. I would post these constantly because that keeps your account super excited and happy. Good? Last but not least, this is my favorite. This is how you make money. This is called the hand raiser. Hand raiser. Hand raiser, all right? It says, hey, my friend, he says, I'm putting together 28 of my best performing marketing emails for our platinum members. Would you like a copy? 84 comments, and here's what happens. People will just, they're scrolling through social media. They'll just say yes. How do you deliver it? Direct message. This is the entire idea. You say, great, Liana, DM sent with details. You comment on every post, DM sent with details, DM sent with details, DM, and your VA can do this, your assistant can do this, your team can do this. It doesn't matter, because now you took a tide riser, raised everybody. You took an overachiever, I'm awesome. Your social media profile's hot. You put a hand raiser up. Now you get a bunch of yeses, free leads, because this way, the person responding to this is only interested in this. So if you said, I have an investment property coming up on in this area, it spits out $10,000 in cash flow, who wants to know about it? You get a yes, right? And then you just direct message the yeses. When you get into direct message conversation, all conversion happens in conversation. Now, social media becomes fun as opposed to just scrolling and seeing what Sharran's doing, what Tony Robbins is doing, what Oprah is doing, what Gwyneth Paltrow is doing. You get to run your own little lead gen system organically. Helpful? Yeah. Okay. Now you may be thinking, I got to now come up with the tide riser posts. I got to come up with the overachiever posts. I got to come up with a hand raiser post. What if I just gave them all to you? Want to give them all to you? Here's a really good example of a hand raiser post. Free download, great way. Free download, the 3 things that every home buyer needs to know to buy a home in today's market. What are they going to say? Yes, 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 yes. And then you say, great, DM sent, DM sent, DM sent, DM sent, DM sent. Now you have the ability to start a conversation. 230 posts when you say free download. The other way to start the conversation is, I just blank. I just created this PDF about this. I just created this video about this. I just listed this property. I just talked to this buyer. Do you want to know more? 2 easy things. Free download, I just created. Easy enough? Okay. Do you think DocuSign works on instant messenger or direct message? No. You know why? Because direct message is not a serious platform. What is a serious platform for us? Email, phone, Zoom, in person, right? The entire job of direct message is to start the conversation. As soon as the conversation has been started, we got to transfer them. We got to transfer them. Quick conversation, they ask a bunch of questions. You can say, hey Dan, is it easier if I just send all the photos of this property to your email directly? What's the best email? Transfer them from DM out. Because our goal is to take all of this. This is where the money machine's happening. But if I don't transfer them via direct message, I don't get a serious conversation. You can't sell on DM. You're not selling a $9 ebook. You're selling like a $13 million house. A little seriousness is important. You can set an appointment, but I'm still transferring them out of that place. Is that helpful? Does that make sense? So here's our entire goal. Number 1, prime the algorithm, make it super sexy. Number 2, you activate the audience and you get DMs. Once you get DMs, you have fun on DMs, transfer them out. I say this to you because someone else on your team can do this. If you just give them a few scripts, you're being super casual. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just give them what they want to know. Good so far? I want to give you the code. Over the last 18 months of helping agents around the world, I've figured out the 9 best posts to make. That will also ensure that all of you don't go post the 1 post from today. Okay, can I give you these 9 posts really quickly? I will show you each of these posts, and then I'll give you all of them in a grid, and then you can download all of them on PDF and give them to your team. So just hang with me, is that cool? Awesome. First one, the tide riser. Who gets lots of emails from realtors? They're gonna get a ton of comments, which is great. I don't care. I don't care what I post. I just want a ton of engagement, so I get a tide riser. You want haters? Let there be haters. Who cares? I got a tide riser. Okay, by the way, this is an interesting, true or false? Hitler owned a mansion in Beverly Hills. How many of you think true? How many of you think false? How many of you are like too embarrassed to comment about something? By the way, this is actually true. Here's the cool part. People love this kind of stuff. All I care is it's a tide riser, right? True or false? This one you all know. Did the US actually buy Alaska from Russia? True or false? How many of you think true? It's kind of true. Kind of true. Did you know? Oh my gosh, Sharran taught me about like geography today, which is so fascinating. All right, couple more. What is the highest mortgage you ever paid? People love this stuff. They love to gloat about things that was really hard for them. Couple more. Who owns an Airbnb? You've seen this. Unlimited budget. What is the first home renovation project that you do? Really good overachiever, right? They tell you who it is. You direct message them saying, hey, do you have a contractor for your pool? Happy to give you a list of the people that we work with. Who invests in apartments or multifamily? I'm trying to smoke out the investors in this, which is really good. Have you ever flipped a home? Only the people that have flipped a home actually know that they flipped the home, right? Otherwise, they don't understand the flip language. You want to know them because what? They are your investor crowd. You can build a database around them. This is my favorite. Which real estate app do you use the most? Again, I'm just thinking hand raise. Hand raise, hand raise. If you have an app or a website, how many of you have an app, website, IDX feed, some form of that you actively use in your business? So literally, this is what you do. Normally, people will say, I use Zillow. Normally, right? Here's what you say. Dan would respond and say, hey, Sharran, I know you use Zillow, but I have a private Zillow. Would you like the link? And then you send them a link to your IDX site or whatever. Now you can track everything, right? This is the 9 that you want to take a picture of. But I'll give you the PDF. These are all the 9 most common, most actively used stuff. Cool? Quick QR code for you. So far, what was kind of insightful for you guys? Can I get a show of hands? Anything that was insightful if you're not taking a picture? Come on, ma'am. Did you see? That was a half hand raise. She was exercising. Sir.
The structure and process that you put together and the tracking that you've done over the last 18 months.
Yeah, so great comment. He said, hey, you got a process that you work, the structure that you work. Can I give you a quote to remember? A quote to remember is this: replicate and then iterate. Oh, I don't like what Sharran did. No, I don't care that you don't like. My stuff works better than yours. For now. For now. I mean that kind of tongue-in-cheek. I'm not an ass, right? What I'm saying is, did someone, he is kind of an ass? Like, dude. What I'm saying is replicate first, then you can change it and iterate it, right? So make it better after you replicate it first. All right, anything else that connected with you? What may you take away and kind of use? Ma'am. So good, so good. Transfer them to a more serious platform. Thank you so much. If you get direct message comments, your goal should be to get them stuck in a way in which you say, hey, I have a couple of thoughts. It may be easier if I just send it to you on email. What's the best email address? It's easier to go from DM to email and not DM to call. DM to call is a little aggressive, right? But DM to email is very soft. You can say, hey, what's the best email? Can I send you a couple of things for you to review? Make it super soft. All right, one more thought. One more. Daniel, sorry.
Content doesn't have to be smart. It has to be engaging.
Super good. The content doesn't have to be smart, Daniel says. It just has to be engaging because all we care about is the tide riser. We don't care what people say in the comments. I want you to detach from all of that. We don't care what people say in the comments. We don't care about any of that. All we care about is that they engage with our platform so we get a ton of people looking at our stuff so we can then suck them into DM. Good? 3 things. Prime the algorithm, slide them into DMs, transfer them out. As of today, very few people have a playbook for actually taking all the good stuff that they put on social media and monetizing it. Our way of monetizing it is this one metric. How many DMs did you start today? How many conversations did you start today? Your goal should be the more direct message conversations you start, the more cool things start to happen. Cool? Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Talk to you all soon.